What's up, y'all? I'm Kerah Whitfield. Welcome to Kerah Speaks, where faith, healing, and real conversations meet. I am a speaker as well as author of the book, Healing Cost Me Everything. That's available right now on Amazon.com. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's build a community. Back to another episode of Kerah Speaks. I appreciate you all for being here every single week. We are building a community here, okay? And I hope that you guys stay. Listen. Did you like this video? Make sure that you subscribe. What are you waiting on? Go ahead and subscribe. I want to make sure that this is a safe space for everybody. This is for people who have gone through therapy, right? And they're just looking for a place where their thoughts can land and where they feel like they are seen. Because I completed therapy last year, July 25, right? And I was looking for a community where people can share their experience after completing therapy, because I couldn't find a community. So I decided to create a community. So welcome to the healed community. And if you are still in therapy, this is still a space for you. It is still a place that welcomes all people, and we can encourage one another to say, hey, keep going. There is light at the end of the tunnel. You can complete therapy. You can live faithful, healed, and free. And speaking of faithful, healed, and free, go to KerahSpeaks.com right now, where you can get my faithful, healed, and free merch. I have t-shirts. I have sweatshirts. It's really cold. I know it's really cold in some of the places where you guys live. So I have sweatshirts. I have, what you call them? Overcoats, not overcoats, windbreakers. I have windbreakers. I probably need to get some made like this, huh? Also, I have sweatpants. I have jewelry, without anything that you need. The sweatshirt seems to be a fan favorite. So go on KerahSpeaks.com right now and get your merch. So let's go ahead and get into the episode. So right now, what I want to talk about today is, I don't want to get political, but I do want to talk about something that is important. Right now, things feel very heavy. They feel very heavy, uncertain, unpredictable. And for me, I'm just trying to manage myself during these times, because it can kind of throw you off your square, and it can shake your faith if you let it. So I am just being intentional about where my mind goes. It's not about trying to be perfect, because you're going to feel doubt. You're going to feel anxious sometimes, and that's okay. Just feel your feelings, but don't let it control you. The reality that we are living in is unstableness, and its instability affects us all, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and creatively. I cannot create these videos and talking about healing and talking about faith and not talk about what's going on in the United States. I think when you are a creative and you think deeply about yourself and the world, you feel the shifts in the system. You feel the shift in safety, right? Especially as a Black woman, because I'm not going to tiptoe around my identity. You see that I'm Black. You see that I'm a woman. And there are certain things that's going on in this world that are affecting people who look like me and people of color. And we have to talk about that as creatives. You cannot straddle the fence. You have to pick a side. And I picked a side of truth. I picked a side of righteousness. And that affects how I create, right? I love what Nina Simone said. I believe, and I want to get the quote right, because I don't like paraphrasing, especially when you're quoting somebody. It's something that's meaningful, like Nina Simone. She says, you can't help it. An artist's duty, as far as I'm concerned, is to reflect the times. You can't sit here and talk about, and create a brand and want people to consume in your product or even consume you and pretend as if people are not suffering. You must reflect the times in your art. As a Black woman, I don't have the luxury, I don't have the privilege of staying silent at the injustices of what's going on in America. I don't have the privilege. Now, as Black people, we have collectively decided to rest. But that does not mean that our activism stops there. We can still speak out and use our platforms like I have here to be able to speak out and bring awareness and attention to what is going on. We must use our art to reflect the time. That doesn't mean that art has to be a protest. It does mean that real artists cannot ignore what is happening. And this matters to people who are creatives and deep thinkers. When you are creative, you don't just digest the world, you absorb it. I cannot, as a creative, I cannot separate what is going on outside to what's going on inside, because without losing my connection to truth. Because I cannot do that without losing connection, I have to have something internally that anchors me. For me, it is my faith. I talk about my faith almost in every single episode that I put out here on Kerah Speaks, because it is important to me. And it's dangerous not to have an internal anchor when things like this is going on in the world. When we have an administration who is hell bent on oppressing not just people of color, but all people, the have-nots. So when you see things in the media, on social media, and it's very heavy on your spirit, because a lot of times creatives are extremely empathetic, especially ones that speak on healing. And if you don't have something inside of you, you're going to be pulled in every single direction. It is going to drive you to anger when we see these things. You start reacting to the chaos with fear, and that becomes a distraction and takes you off your work. It takes you off your path. So you have to have an internal anchor, a spirit anchor, because that is what shapes you. Because if you don't, the world is going to shape you. For me, what keeps me grounded is always my faith in the midst of uncertainty. But I don't over spiritualize. I don't spiritually bypass. And my faith is not about denying the reality of the world. It helps me face it. My faith helps me have something solid to return to when the world gets shaky, when things become confusing. I know where I can turn to. I know where my help comes from. This is what I know to be true. My faith has been the only constant in my life. So when things in the world change, I know where to go for my help. A question for anybody that is watching that may be confused and may feel heavy, especially creatives. Those of you who are watching, I want you to ask yourself, what anchors you in a world that is full of chaos? What rhythms and beliefs and practices do you do to return to when everything else feels off? Because the world is going to continue to challenge us every moment of the day. But if you take care of yourself and stay true to what you know to be true, then you will be fine in the midst of chaos and you won't get lost in it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Always remember, on Kerah Speaks, this is where we stay faithful, healed, and free. I'll see y'all next time.